Today, I have my boss. Yes, we have a very noble senior nurse among us who is going to share with us from his vast experience about the UK nursing system. This session will be very, very essential for all nurses who are presently in the UK practicing as a nurse in the UK. Or let's say you intend to come and practice in the UK, or maybe you are not even a nurse, you are not in that field, but you have curiosity to know how do they renew their license in UK. Please stick with us to the end of this video. Every part of it will be very insightful. I tell you, you're not going to regret joining in. You think I know, right? But I know nothing compared to who we have on the channel today. Frankly, this is my pen and my daughter because I've put it aside because I'm ready to really learn today. We are talking about revalidation of nursing license, the requirements for this revalidation, so that you don't start running helter-skelter at the last minute. How many years will you need to practice before you revalidate? We are talking about those things today. Everything, the documents you need to get ready. How can you get this document? Mr. Samuel will be throwing much light on it. I have with me today the official convener of True Talk with Sam. I don't know if you've ever been blessed by the monthly episode from True Talk with Sam. I have. I remember a particular one I joined when they were talking about discrimination and racism in the workforce. When you had another person with you, it was quite insightful. I remember asking my questions, and I know Mr. Sam is looking like, did you? Yeah, I asked my question. Maybe you remember the question. I asked from YouTube. And it was when I was going through a particular challenge regarding a colleague of mine, and the counsel and the advice I got from that live session, I tell you, it's really applying it to my workplace made a difference. It made a massive difference. So we are in for it tonight. So I have Mr. Samuel Saruwese. I'll be reading his portfolio shortly, so you know, when I mean he has experience, you understand what I mean. So Mr. Samuel Saruwese, popularly known as Nurse Sam, has been a registered nurse for 9 years now. For some of us that are fresh in the system, you can hear that, right? He's been a registered nurse for 9 years now and has worked in various units and departments in the health industry. He's obtained his nursing degree from the prestigious University of Benin. If you're from University of Benin, give a shout, like this video. So starting his career as a geriatric nurse, he developed passion to care for the elderly, which spurred him to co-found Merit Nursing Agency, an organization that provided nursing care services to the elderly and disabled in Nigeria. They are still on providing those services. He delved into healthcare insurance, starting as a case management manager and rose to become a provider manager, heading the South and Southeast region of Nigeria. Mr. Sam is a man of influence as well. Sam relocated to the UK to continue his career and has also excelled in various units by becoming a deputy workforce nurse who handled the recruitment and retention of internationally educated nurses to the trust and ensured that they settled in and adapted well. See, I know most people will be asking you for a job now. So, Mr. Sam, have the experience for you. You are internationally educated and you want to relocate. It has to.
No, not anymore. Now it's self-sponsorship. It's sponsorship.
It's self-sponsorship.
Yeah.
But he has a guide. He has a guide towards that self-sponsorship. There's a video he did on his channel as well. Exactly. Mr. Sam has a YouTube channel. It's True Talk with Sam. I'm coming to that shortly. The Sam has had different leadership and managerial positions. He's the convener and host of True Talk with Sam, where I've really been blessed. It's a monthly talk series on YouTube. You could actually stream on other platforms as well. I think from Zoom, some people were asking questions. Also, he's the president of the Uniben Nurses Alumni Association. I'm from Uniben as well, so that's our president right here. In 2023, he was given an award by the Nigerian Nurses Charitable Association for his tireless efforts in racial equality. If you work overseas, you know sometimes racism can be very difficult. So racism is one of our biggest challenges. So he's been working towards equality, diversity, and inclusion. And in 2024, he was a recipient of the prestigious Chief Nursing Officer NHS England Silver Award for outstanding service to nursing. So the NHS Officer of England awarded him for his outstanding services in nursing. I remember we everybody celebrating him at that time because it was profound. You know,
Mm.
sometimes when you are not in your land to get recognition, so you know definitely you are a person of excellence. And guys, we have that person of excellence right on this channel. We'll be telling us everything we need to know about revalidation. So it's going to tell us everything we need to know about revalidation of your nurse, how you can go about this. Please stick with us to the end because you don't want to miss out on any component of it. Okay. So without wasting much time, if you are here to share this video, share the link so that others can join. I'm going to welcome Mr. Sam with the clap ovation and everything, and then he will introduce himself and we
Thank you
carry
very
on.
much,
Then, if you have
Beatrice.
questions as we go along, you can ask on the comment section or just wait. When we are done, we will take those questions one after the other and we'll make sure we do justice to everything. Thank you, Mr. Sam. Over
Thank you
to
very
you,
much
sir.
for having me. I really appreciate it. It's quite interesting when you hear someone read your biography. You understand, and you're also doing well. As I've always told you, I'm following your footsteps in all of this.
No,
So kudos
I
to
am
you
following you.
for the job you are doing. If you've not subscribed, please do subscribe to the channel, and you will definitely get good results. If you want to travel for visas for COS, B3 is actually the link that you actually need. And today we'll be talking on NMC revalidation. So I hope I'll be able to do justice to this topic. And I'm going to
Mm.
share practical views and practical ways, easy ways you'll be able to carry out your revalidation. Initially, before I did mine, I was running Etasketa, just like many people do now. But when I was done, I saw it that it was quite an easy process. So today
Yeah.
we'll be delving into the revalidation of UK nurses today. And basically, revalidation is not something new. In other countries, it's something that they also do.
Permit me, or
Basically,
I need to be taking notes.
that's all right. Yeah, and you have the recording, so you can actually go back to it too. So
Okay, yeah, that's true.
um, so revalidation basically is the process where nurses or midwives here in the UK and nursing associates in England, that is what they do to maintain their register with the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So basically, we understand that Nursing and Midwifery Council coordinates the affairs of nurses, midwives, and nursing associates in this country. So
Yeah.
you need to maintain your register with them as a nurse, as a midwife, or as a nursing associate. So the process in which you carry out this process is the revalidation itself. Basically, it's done every 3 years. So when you do a revalidation today, it carries you for 3 years. So in the next 3 years, you have to redo it. And one thing I've understood from the NMC is that whatever you are doing, or whatever practice you make as a nurse, it is related to the code. So we have the NMC code. I've noticed a lot of persons don't really make use of the code, or they don't even know about the code. Now, the code is the law that is guiding us as nurses, as midwives, as nursing associates practicing here in this country. So the code is the law. It's the standard that is set for us to carry on our daily practice. What does the code really entail? It entails four main components: prioritizing people, practice effectively, preserving safety, and promoting professionalism and trust. Now, these four areas are important when you are doing your revalidation, because whatever you're going
Okay.
to do, you have to make a reflection or you have to collaborate it or interact with the code to tell you
Okay.
that this I have done is related to this part of the code. So you have to prioritize people in whatever you're doing. You have to practice effectively. You have to preserve safety, safety of your patient, safety of yourself, and you have to promote professionalism and trust. So we'll go into the requirements. So for your revalidation, what are the things that you basically need to meet before you are deemed qualified for revalidation? So as a nurse or a midwife or a nursing associate, you have to have practiced in the UK for 450 hours. I'm going to
Okay.
break this down separately. So you have to practice for 450 hours. That's quite a small amount of hours. Or if you are double qualified, in back where we're coming from, we usually have double qualification. You're either a nurse,
Yeah.
a midwife, or a public health nurse. But here, basically, most people practicing are often just single qualified. You're either a registered nurse, or you're a midwife, or you're a nursing associate. But I've
Mm-hmm.
seen quite a number of persons who are double qualified here in the UK. They are both nurses and they are both midwives. So, but if
Really?
you
Okay.
are, yeah, if you are double qualified, you then need 900 hours compared to those who are single
Wow.
qualified.
I didn't
Yes,
know that.
that's 450 hours. Then aside that, you need to have met 35 hours of CPD, including 20 hours of participatory learning. So I have a separate video on CPD on my channel, which I did, and how to assess the funding on that. But I also, because of the benefit of our attendance yesterday, I'm still going to break that down. So you must have attended 35 hours of CPD. CPD is continuing professional development, and you can actually do that with different methods. I would explain further on that. After that, you need to have 5 pieces of feedback. A lot of persons are having challenges with this feedback, but I can tell you easy ways you can get your 5 feedbacks from. After having your 5 feedbacks, you also need to have written 5 reflective accounts. This is quite interesting, and I would give you practical examples. I'm going to share one that I've written during my revalidation for you. Then, after your five
Thank you.
reflective accounts, you have a reflective discussion. So, this is the discussion you make with any nurse, any midwife, or nursing associate, provided the person is still having a good record with the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So you have that discussion. So the feedbacks and the reflective account you've written, you then have a discussion with this person. So after that, you do your health declaration. Health declaration in the UK is quite different from the one back home. So the health declaration here, you have to just tick it, like you have to confirm that you have good health, that you can practice as a nurse here, and professional indemnity form. So if you are in full time with your employer, you can get your employer can actually give you professional indemnity, but probably you are an agency staff, then you should register with your union. Your union can actually give you professional indemnity. After that, you just sign your confirmation and you send the form. So it's quite it looks lengthy, but with time, it's something that you can easily go through.
Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow. Thank you so much. I didn't really know that if you are double qualified, you have to get like 900 hours. Wow.
yes, you do.
Like I told you, I said I don't know this thing, right? So that I'm here to learn. It's just because I want others to learn as well. That's why I said let's make it official. On
Yeah,
I would have just gone like Nicodemus and just give me all the information, but I didn't want to be selfish. So I believe by virtue of this live session and those that will watch the replay, they will be able to get a lot of feedback from this. So having explained through these things, I think you mentioned 450 hours from my note now.
yeah.
35, is it 35 hours of CPD that we need
CPD.
also our reflective discussion. So let's take it one at a time.
Okay, let's take it one at a time. Let's start with the
Yes, sir.
practice hours. 450 hours. It's quite easy. Now, if you look at your contract, your contract says 37.5 hours, right? In a
Yeah,
week.
36.5.
And we have, yeah, and we have, some might be more, some might be less. But I think the average is 37.5 per week. And we have
Yes,
52
sir.
weeks in a year. So if you multiply 37.5 times 52 weeks, which is in a year, you have 1,950 hours already.
Okay.
So you have 3 hours, 3 years to do your revalidation, but you've covered your 450 practice hours in 1 year, less than
Yeah.
1 year, I can tell you.
What
Okay,
of a
so
funny question, sir? What of a
that's
funny
all right.
question? Let's say somebody that when they got their NMC pin, the person went on maternity leave. Then
Okay.
while was on maternity leave, had another baby, went on another maternity
Wow.
leave.
Why is the person like that?
That's why I said it was a funny question.
Uh,
Yes. Okay,
okay,
I
so
think the person
basically,
should still have 450 because
yes,
2 years,
at
you
least.
still have another third year. Yeah, I think the person should still have 450.
So even on resumption, I believe within 4 to 6 months, the person should be able to meet up the 450 practice hours. Now, NMC
Yeah.
understands that there are a lot of challenges people will face within the 3 year period. However, you wouldn't say you've not practiced um, below four, you've not practiced or you've practiced below 450 hours in 3 years. That would not be acceptable. So at least
Okay.
450 hour practice hours. Um, Within 3 years. And one thing I need to let the viewers today know, NMC has a guide. There's a form on their website that you can actually download and start filling even before they let you know that it's time for you to start your revalidation. And I'm going to be using those forms to explain practical um, requirements on how we can meet them in this video today. Talking about the practice hours, if you are able to download the form, you would see that the form has the dates, the name of your organization, your work setting, your scope of practice, your number of hours, and your registration. Then a brief description of your work is quite explicit. So if you have not changed job, or from the last time you got your PIN, or from the last time you
Mm-hmm.
did your revalidation, if you've not
Yeah.
changed job, you just let them know the trust you are working from the day you got your PIN to date. Okay. And now, one important aspect I need to let people know is your scope of practice. NFC could say you are a registered nurse, so you could either be working, having a direct patient care, or you could be in the education department, or even like I was, you would be in the recruitment team. So you don't have direct patient care, but that is not going to hinder you from doing your revalidation because NMC understands that as a registered nurse, you can be anything. You can be tissue viability nurse, you could be falls nurse, you could
Yeah.
be in the education team, you could do anything. But so that's not going to hinder you. Just let them know the scope of practice. If you are in education, if you are in recruitment, if you are in having a direct patient care, just let them know. And your registration as a registered nurse, then give them a brief description of what you do. That covers your hours. So as I said, tell them your contract 37.5, if they multiply it with the number of years that you've worked, probably 2, 3 years, it then gives you your 450 hours.
Hmm.
I hope that's clear.
Yeah, that's very clear. Well, thank you so much for
All right.
explaining that. Yeah,
Let's
that's
go
very
over
essential.
to
I didn't think of that. That you should actually, because your scope is wide, so you just have to let them know
yeah.
your category. Like, if you are yet to like this video, what are you waiting for? Tega is giving a shout. Thank you, Tega. Tega is the wife of our secretary as well, Comrade Victor. Thank you, Tega, for joining. Um, some other matter is there as well. And fast me, thank you so much for joining. Share this link to as many because we are really learning a lot. So that's the first aspect. There's another one when you talked about CPD. Like,
CPD.
what's the
Yeah.
easiest way to get this CPD complete hours?
So for CPD, 35 hours is actually even a small hours to meet in a 3 year period. I would tell you.
Mm,
We have various ways you can meet your CPD. It could be either through training courses, online programs,
okay.
seminars, conferences, workshops. So we have various means you can meet your CPD hours. And you have to take note, make sure that the conferences, the training courses, whatever seminars you are going to attend is CPD approved. Okay, not all training courses are CPD approved. Even the online courses you do in your trust, online training courses, many of them are not CPD approved. So that is why you might not be able to use those online courses or those online trainings to meet up your 35 CPD. So find out the training courses if they are CPD approved. How would you even know they are CPD approved? Because at the end, they will tell you that you could have 3 hour CPD time for this training course or 5 hours CPD time. So they will definitely let you know that there's a 5 unit or there's a 5 credits of CPD attached to this training course or attached to this conference. That's when you know that this training course or this seminar is CPD approved. And aside that, you also need to have a good topic of that training course, probably the conference or seminar. Note the date, note the number of hours that you used in attending it.
Okay.
Most importantly, link it to the code, any part of the code, the 4 key components of the code. You have to link the topic that is being discussed in that training course or that seminar. You have to link it to the code. And at the end, you need an evidence. That's why most time you get a certificate of attendance. That is
Okay.
what you would have as an evidence of attending this program. And let me let our viewers know, I have a video on my channel that tells you that you are entitled to £1,000 of CPD approved by the NHS for every registered nurse. So every registered nurse, midwife, uh, and some AHPs have £1,000 for CPD training for 3 years. That is to enable you meet your 35 hours of CPD. So you don't even need to pay for training courses. You don't need to
Mm.
pay for conferences. You don't need to pay for seminars. There are fundings available for you. So you can go to
Wow.
my YouTube channel, yes, True Talk with Sam,
Yeah.
and
I
watch
think I
how
watched
to
one of those videos.
access CPD fundings so that you can
I'm
meet your
sorry. Can I
35
ask this
hours.
question? I know I'm supposed to ask it under that video. How to access?
Okay.
I understood that the funds were valuable, but is it accessible to some of us that don't work with NHS? Like you talked about scope. I'm a registered nurse in UK, but I'm not working
Yeah.
with the NHS. I'm working with a private employer.
Okay. So for private employers, no, the fundings are only
Hmm.
applicable for those who work with the NHS.
Okay.
Sorry, Beatrice. You are a big woman now. You can take care of yourself.
No worries.
So that is how you'll be
Wow,
able
but
to get your,
that's good help if
yeah.
NHS can give them that £1,000 for sim. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
they do. They do. I utilize mine effectively. Most training courses I attend, most conferences. I'm attending one conference next week. It was fully paid by my trust. Yes,
Wow.
I can tell you that.
Wow, that's good.
So I assess those funds, provided you can let them know that this training courses or this seminar or this conference is CPD approved. That's what you need. And let them know that it's for your personal development goals too. So they would sponsor it and they'll make the payment. You are
Oh,
entitled to it. The funding is there for those that work in the NHS. So I have to
yeah.
spare that. Okay.
Yeah, so for all NHS nurses that's watching
Yeah.
this video now or will watch this video, like this video, visit Mr. Sam's channel. It's True Talk with Sam. I'm going to link it to the description of this video. So if you are watching a replay or most likely when you're watching a replay, because if you're on active now, it's not there. But I'm going to link those videos on the description. Please go and access your
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
£1,000 so that you can do your training and you even
Exactly.
you will see 35 hours. And
Yeah.
remember to get your certificate from what we have been learning. Get a certificate. That's your proof. Not just to show the NHS for your revalidation. Just get that certificate. That's your proof that you did that CPD. And like you said, some of the CPD have to be linked to the code. So it's not all training that are CPD. Don't just waste your time doing a random one. Make sure you do the one that you know that is going to advance your progress and as well as you'll be able to use this for revalidation. It's very, very important. So carry on, sir.
All
Mr.
right.
Victor is saying shout out to our boss as the secretary of our alumni union. We
Yeah.
appreciate it, sir. Thank you for joining us here. Thanks for the support. So Mr. Sam, we carry on explaining other criteria. I think the yeah.
All right, so we'll look at the 5 feedbacks. So you are expected to get five feedbacks from your practice within 3 years. And how would you do this? It's quite easy though. It could be verbal, It could be written, it could be formal or
Okay.
informal. Yeah, so it doesn't really have a specific format to take. So when we say it's verbal, it could just be words of mouth. But personally, I would not advise anyone to go with the verbal feedbacks, because it's going to be your word against mine. Anybody can formulate it. I can say a patient appreciated me yesterday for the care I rendered. Nobody was there. There's no evidence. I tend to um, have evidence to prove that this was done. So the verbal feedback is quite tricky. I know a lot of persons find it easy to use that. You could also get an email. You could also use a letter. You could also use a card, and you could also use an award. I used an award during my revalidation. Yes, I did. So,
Yes.
what sources could you get this feedback from? It could either be a patient relative, your colleagues at work. It could be your line manager, or it could be a senior manager or a senior management. It could even be from your appraiser, or there could be a team report. For example, um, they send infection prevention control sends a report that your ward actually scored 100% on cleanliness. It's a team's report. You could use that also as a feedback. Or your colleague appreciating you for the quality of job done. Quickly tell your colleague to send an email. Yes. Or
Okay.
a patient is appreciating you. They are about to be discharged. They are calling you, thanking you. And you could just say, it's fine. Maybe they could send a thank you card to have a proof to say, this is my feedback. Okay. So it's quite easy to get 5 feedback. I would give you a practical example of one that I used.
Yes, sir.
So I told you about the form. If you download the form from the NMC website, it has the date, it has the source of feedback. That is, where did you get this feedback from? And it's asking the type of feedback. So how was the feedback received? And the last is that the content of the feedback. What was the feedback about, and how has it influenced your practice? Please, it's also important that you link it to the code, to the NMC code. I put the date I received my award. It's very important to also note that you don't need to mention the name of the person that gave you the feedback. Confidentiality is key. Okay.
Okay.
So if a colleague of yours gives you, sends an email or sends you a thank you card, or a patient, for example, a patient relative, thanking you for the care you rendered to his or her mom, you don't need to mention the person's name. It's very important. You don't need to just pick up the name, just say a patient appreciated me for the care rendered to his family or to his mom or something like that. So
Sorry
I
to
put,
ask, sir. Sorry to
yeah.
ask, sir. Sorry to interrupt. What if you mention the name? What are the consequences?
NMC, they are strict on confidentiality. So they don't
Yes, sir.
want a situation where anything would give an assumption that they would know the person.
Okay.
Revalidation is not about, or even having proof, it's not about you telling them the person or the actual event that happened, but they just want to see how you can reflect it to your practice, or what have you learned from that? What did that encourage you to do? That is what they need. I've not seen
Okay.
anyone that have mentioned someone's name, and I hope nobody is going to try to mention someone's name so that we would know what NMC would do. But NMC has stated that we shouldn't include personal details that they would
So
use
please,
in.
guys, if you're
It's
watching
even
this
here. I
video,
can
you're
read
watching
it.
the replay. Don't put any name like what Mr. Sam is saying. We don't know. Don't be the one that will now make us know what NMC will
No,
do.
we don't want
Please.
to know. I don't want anybody to know. Please. It's here. NMC, from the NMC page. You say, please provide the following information for each of your 5 feedbacks. You should not record any information that might identify an individual, whether that individual is alive or diseased. This section on non-identified information is how to revalidate with the NMC, provide guidance on how to make sure that your notes do not carry any information that might identify an individual. They don't want to know the person. They don't want to identify
Wow.
anybody. Yes, it's there.
Now I understand. There was a day I know one of my colleagues was doing revalidation. So what happened was my deputy manager, they gave us a card. We finished nursing somebody, and the resident died, the family brought a card to say thank you to all the team members that did this, and she said photocopy this card because you may need it. But she said take out their name, like
Their
when the
names.
nurse said thank you from this. She said take, and I was like, it's a general card. She said it doesn't matter. You could still use it. I know there are some questions on the comment section. We are coming to it. We just want to, yeah, when we finish, we'll come to it and we take them one after the other. So what she was telling me that day was like, don't worry, you can still use it, but take out. So there was one photocopy that showed the name. She did another photo and cut off the name. Now I understand why she did that.
Why? Yeah, and that
Okay.
also tells you that you can use a team report or a team's card as a revalidation. So you're part of the team. So everybody took care of the patient or the resident, and it's a team effort. So everybody can use that card for revalidation. So here, under my source of feedback, I put senior manager.
Okay.
I actually didn't want to put the name of the person who gave me that award because it's an identifiable person. So I just wrote senior manager. Type of
Okay.
feedback, I wrote award. And the content of the feedback, where they asked what was the feedback about and how has it influenced your practice. I wrote, I was appreciated for planning and implementing programs that ensured internationally educated nurses in the trust settled in well and adapted in the UK health system, which was in line with the Stay and Thrive initiative. This shows that my effort in supporting and ensuring a good integration for IENs in the clinical area and community was recognized. This promotes professionalism and trust and practice effectively. If you see at the end, I had to link it
Link
to
it.
the code,
I get, sir.
practical. Yes. So, what was the feedback about? This was what I did. This was why I got that award. And how did it influence your practice? I said it shows that my effort in supporting IENs was recognized.
Yeah.
And the last paragraph was to tell you this promotes professionalism and trust, and it also helps to practice effectively. So that's the practical
Well,
way we can do that.
well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You also mentioned that there is like a reflect. One of the criteria is a reflective discussion between you and the nurse. Like,
Yeah.
how do you go about this, and at what
Before I w-
phase?
yeah, before I will talk about the reflective discussion, you must have written your reflective account, 5 of them. So I will talk about that before I will answer your question. Now, your reflective account is going to be um, maybe one of your feedbacks or one of your CPD trainings. It has to be linked. So when you start writing it, so your CPD trainings, you can take from there. From your feedback, you can also take from there. So this helps you. So immediately you, for example, I've already written on an award that I got for my feedback. I also continued and used that as my reflective account. So
Okay.
you don't need to be thinking about what other reflective account should I do. So you can either use your CPD trainings, you can either take a piece from your reflective, from your feedback, or could just be an event that happened during your practice within your 3 years period. I'll give you a practical example again. So they have the form on the NMC website that you can download and just go through. It tells you what was the nature of the CPD. It even tells you you could use the CPD or a feedback, or it could be a different experience that you have during the course of your practice.
Yeah.
Here, I talked about still organizing several programs for the IENs in my trust. And after successfully implementing these programs, we had great impact in the careers of IENs, where we were appreciated and I was honored with an award. So it still looks like you are paying what you've said in your feedback, you are transferring it. But you have to be elaborate on this because it's quite different. It's quite a different question that they could ask. Question number
Yeah.
2 here on the reflective account, it says, what did you learn from the CPD activity or from the feedback or from the event? So with the event that you had, what did you learn from it? My response here was the retention rate of IANs in the trust increased as many IANs felt inspired, valued, and motivated. Most decided to stay in the trust as this created a positive environment for staff to work. So I'm still elaborating on the award I got, on the program I organized. How did it affect the trust, or what did I learn from it? You are just trying to elaborate on it. Now, he also asked you, how did you change or improve your practice as a result? I wrote, this really motivated me to put in more effort in supporting colleagues at work, and I feel valued in the team. And this spurred me to create more valuable initiatives to support not only IANs, but other nurses in the trust. The last part, how is this relevant to the code? So when I tell you that you have to relate it to the code, it's not just
Yeah.
for me, it's directly from the NMC. And I
Mm.
also stated what I said before, that this promotes professionalism and trust, and it helps to practice effectively. So these are
Okay.
practical, they are practical steps, and they are easy steps that you can use for your revalidation. But the challenge is you are writing 5 of these. Yes. So you need to start as soon as possible. I will advise viewers on this call today, if you have or if you've had an experience or an event during the course of your practice, download the form from NMC and fill it while it's still fresh. Because if you wait a year, 2 years, it's difficult for you to recollect effectively what happened. It's difficult to reflect on how it's changed your practice or how you've improved. So if it's fresh, if an incident happened, quickly document this and save it. I'm telling you, within 3 years, you would definitely get 10 experiences.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you.
you
Thank
would.
you for giving me this tip. Oh. Because I'm actually
You would.
revalidating next year, like in a couple of months. Thank you for giving me this tip because as you were explaining, it made it easier because frankly, in everything, this reflective one has been like my most challenging one.
Yeah,
Because I remember somebody saying, don't make sure you don't put bad thing like saying this happened, that some of the if you put there are some reflective um things you could write that could make them to begin investigation to see what led to this, what led to that. That even when you are reflecting, you have to be very, very, very cautious of what you are
yeah.
reflecting and on what you are documenting. So somehow, it's been a bit. I think from what you said now that you can link it to CPD, is making it easier for me to understand. Like, okay, I'm even thinking about one reflection I should go and write when we finish
You
this
can.
session.
And that was what really did help me because during the course of my practice, we've really had various experiences.
Mm,
So, but the challenge I had was I wasn't taking them down, I wasn't writing them down immediately. I got
okay.
series of thank you cards. I got series of letter from senior managers. I got verbal appreciation from colleagues, which I stored. I knew I was going to use them for CPD, but the reflective account was now my challenge because
Okay.
I didn't write them instantly. They got muddled up. You get so by the time you start reflecting on an event, it's difficult to recollect in detail what happened,
Yeah.
what did you learn from it, how has it changed your practice, how to reflect it to the code. It was
Mm,
that was a challenge for me. So it's an advice to anybody watching this video. If you've had an incident at work, probably when it's died down a little bit, get this form. You can go to the NMC website, download it, a reflective account form, and start writing. And by the time you are done, you could just keep it.
Mr.
Okay.
Sam, could you do us a favor? I know, yeah, most of us like all this. Give us the feed us with the food. So if you give us the link or something, so I will just leave it
Okay.
there for
Yeah,
those who may be finding it difficult to search. So you just go click on the link and then download so that you
that's
can
fine.
have
I could
those
send you the link.
documents yourself to print
Yeah.
out and Me, I'm doing my own right after watching this video because the two
Yeah.
that is coming to my mind now, I don't want to forget them. They are
And
still
yes,
fresh.
immediately comes to your mind, you need to document it so you don't forget. And it's going to
Okay.
help you. Yeah. So the question you asked. So after writing this 5 reflective account, let me tell you, the event, your reflective account could be on anything. I had a colleague of mine who wrote on an incident. I don't know if I'm permitted because this
Yes.
it's a public space. A lot of persons
Yeah.
would watch it. On an incident that happened in the hospital when someone was about to, she was it was on a night duty. She was about to shut the window blind, when she saw someone over at the what's it called? The car park about to commit suicide. She had to raise alarm, call the security and everything. She was reassuring the patient, not the patient, reassuring the person from afar, from the window where she was. Yes. So as God could have it, the person was rescued and the person was
Wow.
saved. Yes, they had to commend her for doing that, and she
Wow.
got a lot of commendations. Yeah, she was about to shut the window blind when she saw someone standing at the top of the car park. It's a multi-story car park, and was about to
Mm.
jump. Yeah. So she just tried to reassure the person, calm down, wait, whatever is happening, we can resolve it. And she alerted the security, who then went there to rescue the person. So it could be on anything, provided you tell us, not us now, NMC, okay? You tell them what the nature of the event was, what did you learn from it, and what was your experience, and how it has changed or improved your practice, and how is it relevant to the code. And that's all they need.
Wow, 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 wow. I'm still dumbfounded by this. Thank you. The way
Yeah.
it's not looking so sweet. Like it used to be like one mountain that is unsurmountable to me. When you talk about reflective discussions, and they come again. So, but I understand it now. It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's easy. Thank you for bringing this simplicity to it. Then the reflective discussion,
Yes. So
is it
that
like
could be
between
done. Yeah, it's between you and any registered nurse. Any registered nurse. So
maybe
you
your
have your
manager
five
or something,
reflective.
right?
Yeah, you don't necessarily need to be your line manager. A lot of persons say your line manager. Sometimes we know we're not good with our line manager. We're not in good terms with our line manager. It could be your band 6 6. It could be a band 5. It could be your colleague, provided the person is a registered nurse on the NMC website. That's all you need.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
book a time with the person and discuss these 5 reflective accounts you've written. Okay, and I think that's just it. Then basically you have to do some confirmations, and those are done online. And I think that's just so. These are the main work you need to do.
Yeah.
That you have to document things, you have to put things in order before you'll be able to go online and fill the form online. And I think that's basically the revalidation process for you.
Wow. Well, thank you, sir. Do we have to pay money?
No, you don't need to pay any money. Only, you pay £120 every month, every year. So that's
Yeah.
just it. So it elapses on the third year. So after that, you
Okay.
make that payment for the next year, and that's it.
Okay. Because for me, I do my own quarterly, so I pay £30 quarterly.
I do
So they
quarterly
take
also. So they take it.
they take
So
the
that's
direct
it.
debit. So before that year,
Exactly.
I'm not, because the first time I paid it was like taking £120 at the same time from the account. I was like, no.
Yes, and many persons don't even know about that option. So I need to let some viewers that you have the option of paying quarterly. So you don't need to um, I I heard of a story of someone who missed that payment and was suspended from the register. Revalidation is very important. If you miss any of the steps, you could be suspended. I'll give you a personal story. I almost missed my deadline. I could tell you this. I did my revalidation October 1st, 2024, just barely some few weeks back. It was the last day that I submitted. I There was a mix up with the revalidation date for me, but revalidation date carries 31st October. but the date of submission is first of October. So I would advise
Okay.
anybody not to wait till the deadline. Do not wait. Do not wait. You have 3 months. NMC will send you an email opening the portal for you to start your revalidation 3 months before it expires. And I must tell you, you would not want it to expire or be suspended from the register. No. Your trust, we have to suspend you from work because you can't work because you're not a registered nurse until you are done with your revalidation. Then it could take up to 60 days. And you know how the timeline is for NMC. So please,
Wow.
nobody should wait.
Wow, profound. Thank you so much. I think some persons have been asking some questions. Let's take them before maybe we'll
All
ask
right.
our personal ones. Thanks for everyone who have joined and who will be sharing the link. So Sarah is asking, how do one go about accessing the CPD funds? So Mr. Sam has a detailed video, part 1 and part 2, on accessing CPD fund on his YouTube channel, True Talk with Sam. You know the privilege of going there. After watching that video, whatever you feel you still need more information on, you ask it in the comment section, and he's happy to respond and guide you. And if you want a one-to-one with him, you can also request for that. So maybe if he wants to, he could shed light, but otherwise, there's so much information already there for you. So just search True Talk with Sam on YouTube, and then you get all you want. So somebody is asking, can I use an award given to me by my ward MTD group for revalidation as feedback?
Yes, you can. I told you I used an award, although mine wasn't from the trust. It's from okay, I've gotten my revalidation now, so I can say it. So it's from NHS England, all the way from the Chief Nursing Officer's office, NHS England. So that's what I use. So any award, provided you can tell us how that has improved your practice and how you can link that to the code. That's all you need as a feedback. It's a very good feedback. I must tell you, getting an award in this country is not easy. So when you have one, you should be proud of it. Tell NMC that
Yeah,
you got an award. Yeah, you could.
yeah. Well done. Congratulations on getting that award, though. Feisayo, that's a good one. We encourage excellence. And our
Yeah.
boss here, who got all the way from NHS England, show us the way. Oh. Congratulations, sir. So,
Thank you.
another question is, in summary, is asking, can we use a general thank you card? Can we use a general thank you card given to the ward staff? I think Mr. Sam has touched on this, that yes, you can.
Yes,
You
you
can use a
can.
general thank you card. Don't just show the name. He has
Yeah,
emphasized it. You
you
don't
have
show
to
the name
omit
and
the
say, I
names,
got this
please.
card from Mr.
Yes,
Bright this or Mrs. Bright this. Yeah. Even when, let's say, you cared for their parents, you shouldn't even tell the name of the parents.
not at all.
Confidentiality, don't
Yeah,
reveal. Just make it very general. Like you cared for a resident, you cared for a patient, a client, something like that. And yes, don't reveal specific details, like Mr. Sam has said. You don't want to know what NMC will do to somebody. Let
no,
it not
not
start
at
from
all.
anyone watching this video, please. So another matter is saying, answer the questions. Please, matter, specify which questions you want to be answered. If, for instance, we've not touched that aspect, please specify if you are still on the call. And Mr. Victor is asking that after revalidation, how long is the license valid before the next revalidation? If
3 years.
Mr. Yeah, I'll leave 3 years.
3 years. Yes, 3 years.
Yeah, because he has mentioned that earlier. That is 3 years. It takes another 3 years before you repeat the same process. Now, let
Yeah.
me ask a funny question regarding this. So
All
when
right.
I say funny, you get your mind ready, right? So let's say I have this card, this lovely feedback card. I remember there was one that one of my colleagues wrote to me about 2 weeks ago, and I decided to keep it for revalidation. And let's say I use it for my next year revalidation. In the next 4 years, can I still use that same card?
No, you can't because of the dates. You can't. So we believe that if you've gotten a good a thank you card that you've used for this revalidation, hopefully you should get one within the. Don't worry, I will send you one, Victory, for you to use in your next revalidation.
All right, thank you for throwing light on that. Thank you. So literally the
Mm.
whole process starts again. When you've completed, for some of, I know some persons are just joining now. We've explained a lot. I'm going to leave the replay of this video and also give you the edited part where we can show you realistically how to go about these things. Watch out for those videos on this. It's a similar video, but it's just more comprehensive. So please watch out for those. So the whatever process that you get to understand from what our noble nurse has explained now, you repeat it again. Let's say all the documents I've kept, and immediately I'm done with my revalidation. Okay, I'm coming. I now have a question I will ask though,
Okay.
but let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish my
All right.
thoughts. So immediately you're done with your revalidation, you keep those ones aside. Don't misplace it though, because you may need it one day. But you start preparing for the next year revalidation in a similar manner or in a more improved manner with the knowledge you will now gain from it firsthand. So that's how you don't just repeat and say, okay, now I will save this card, I will change the date or something. Don't do that.
Let me say this. It's very important for you to keep record of all those requirements. NMC, they randomly pick one person every year to provide evidence. I have to say
Wow.
this. So you could go online. The form online is it won't take you 5 minutes to fill. On revalidation, when they open your portal, if you want to do it online, it's not going to take you 5 minutes to fill. It's just a tick, 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 tick. First question they will ask you, did you meet your 450 practice hours? You tick yes or no. You tick yes. Have you met your 35 hours of CPD? You tick yes. Have you met your have you gotten your 5 feedback, your 5 practice related feedback? You will say yes. Reflective account, you say yes. Reflective discussion, you say yes. Then they will only request for the name, email, and PIN number of the person that you had that reflective discussion with. You write that, then it goes to the next, which is health and character declaration. You say, yes, I'm fit to practice as a nurse. Professional indemnity, yes, I have it. Confirmation, yes, I confirm that every information I've given above, they are true to the best of my knowledge. Yes, submit. That's it. So all this process we've explained that you have to write your reflective accounts, your feedback and everything. These documents are for your record only. You know why? Because you might be that one random person NMC will send an email to and say, provide us proof of your 450 hours, your 35 CPD hours, your 5 feedbacks, your 5 reflective accounts, and your reflective discussion. Nobody wants to be that one person. I know it's the probability we might want to take, but I don't think we're in this country for probabilities. Nah.
No,
So when you are
I'm
done,
not.
I have a folder that I kept it. NMC. I have NMC revalidation, the year. It's there in my folder. And I've opened another one for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So I told you, I've learned from the previous one. So when I have a fresh event, I just go on it and I start writing what's my reflection on this? What did I
Yeah.
learn? What has it helped me? Even if I don't finish it in a day, I could take time to write it and I just keep it in my folder. You will
Hmm.
definitely get events. You will definitely get uh, feedbacks.
Yeah.
5 in 3 years. Except you are not. Let me not say the word.
Okay.
You definitely will.
Yeah, precisely. You will.
Definitely,
You
you
have things to
will.
reflect
But
on.
that is why I advise that instead of verbal, because some persons might want to use verbal, just you could advise if it's a colleague, tell the colleague to send you an email. Or if it's a thank you card, you can make a photocopy and keep. Just remove the names and just make a photocopy and keep. You will get 10.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
you will in 3 years. You
Thank
will.
you. Thank you so much,
All
sir.
right.
Okay, there is another contribution here. He says a contribution from Mr. Olubenga. He said every member of RCN can log into the RCN membership account. there is an option called RCNI portfolio that helps you gather document towards your revalidation. It shows your progress. Okay, for those who are RCN, who Royal College of Nurses, remember, if you're a nurse and you don't have a support group, you don't know what you are missing. Oh. Some people don't want to join because you think they will be taking 18 pounds or 16 pounds. How much do they take every month?
Yeah.
But how much do you earn? Those things, they are very essential. Before we finish, I think Mr. Hassan will throw more light on importance of support groups, importance of support union. I belong to RCM. When I started, I didn't join because I was thinking, why will you be taking money from my account? But my
If I'm to
mindset is
talk,
renewed.
if I'm to talk on that, we won't live here today. But let
We
me
won't
just
live
say,
here.
and let me just advise viewers on this call. In my role, when when I was the deputy workforce nurse looking after international nurses, I had various international nurses who had challenges. The first question I asked them, which union do you belong to? And you would be surprised, they do not belong to any union. Where we are coming from, you don't even have a choice. In short, you must join a union. They start taking it from your salary. If you're on the call, you would agree with me. You would join NAM. You don't have a choice. So because now you have the opportunity to choose, you decide you're not going to join any union. No, the benefits outweighs the problem. I had someone who came to me, I think that was in May, saying she got a letter inviting her for the disciplinary panel for a drug error she did in December the previous year. So it didn't even come immediately. They started investigating something that she did the year before. The
Wow.
question I asked her was, which union do you belong to? She didn't belong to any union. I can tell you for free, it's only your union that can accompany you to that panel. No matter the support your trust will want to give you, they wouldn't go with you. So it's better you have it when you need it than when you need it, you do not have it. You might be looking at 16 pounds like something very big now. When that challenge comes, if you know how much you pay to get a lawyer in this country, you would pay 16 pounds every month. It's the truth. It's the truth. So it's
It's
better. It's
frankly.
like insurance. I did my program on insurances and mortgage some few weeks back. It's just
On
like car
31st.
insurance. Yeah. So having joining a union is like having an insurance in case you need it. We pray. We don't even want to need it. Nobody wants to drive and have an accident and say because I'm covered by my insurance, I can just drive and have an accident. My insurance will cover me. No, we don't even want to go through that stress. But we don't want a situation where the time you really need it, you don't even have it. That's where the pain would come. So please join a union. You're gonna need it one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for shedding light on that. So this is one of the union now, and Mr. Lubenga is still explaining that we even all these documents that Mr. Sam has been saying, you can get it from RCNI website, and he said it makes the validation progress process very easy. It provides guidelines to on how to obtain all the different information and document needed towards the validation, and you can save all your documents there. Wow, so that's a good one. Thanks for this contribution. So we learn a lot when we actually come together. And somebody is asking, do you need a union to have an indemnity, or how do you get it? Yeah, I was about saying you should please throw, when you talked about that part where after ticking your character declaration, they ask professional indemnity and the like.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, I said, no, let me just, but somebody has asked now. I think you need to throw light on professional indemnity. And she's saying, do
Indemnity.
you really need a union to get that?
All right. So the answer could be yes and no. But basically, your employer provides your professional indemnity for you. That's confirmed. Your employer provides your professional indemnity for you. So at the beginning of the video, I said for those who work agencies, those agency nurses that do not really have a particular employer that they work with, then their union provides professional indemnity for them.
Okay.
So where you work, you have a permanent contract with that employer. That employer is obliged to provide you professional indemnity. So you are covered under their umbrella. But as an agency nurse or a midwife or a nursing associate, you need a union to provide you that professional indemnity.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for that. The another question here is how do you get it? That's you need a union. He said that. So if you need a union, if you don't have a full contract and your employer they are not, how did Mr. Sam explain it now?
Okay, so let me tell you, you could reach out to if you are with a union, you can also get a copy from your union. Just send them an email, request for a copy of your professional indemnity. They will send it to you. But your employer would not send it to you, but you are covered under your employer. So
Okay.
whatsoever happens at work, you are covered under your employer under professional indemnity. So
Wow.
even if you have a permanent contract with your employer and you need a copy, your employer would not send it to you, but you could reach out to your union to send you the professional indemnity. I did get a professional indemnity. There was a time I needed it for something I got from my union and not from my employer.
Wow.
Yes,
You should be a lawyer or you know everything.
we're getting there. We're getting there. We're in the
you
pathway.
should you should be a barrister, Mr. Sam. So Mr. Victor is also explaining that union membership also have multifaceted benefits alongside opportunities for personal development and information gathering. That's true. That's true. Most unions give you the opportunity to learn a lot. I belong to RSC and I know there are many resources, even though I've not had the time to really go through. But there are many resources there for our growth, really. There are many resources to make sure that you don't fall into. And you know why those resources are resourceful? Because it's filled with experiences. They as a union know the number of court cases they are going to answer for. So
Exactly.
they've made guidelines and everything. So Victory, you need to I'm talking to myself now. Victory, you need to go and check some of those resources just to help you to not fall into that same mistakes or fall into that same trap that most people have fallen into. So it's very, very helpful. The time you need it, you don't have it, then you know you are in so that's Mr. Victor saying now that if you need union and you don't have it, you know you are in soup. It depends on the soup. If it's a spicy soup, only God could help you. So
Um,
please be wise, be wise. Don't think, frankly, from what you averagely you should earn averagely 152,000, if I'm not mistaken. What's £16 for meat? Wait, sometimes you won't spend it. You spend that £16 on something. Just take it like it's just something they are deducting. Put it on direct debit. They
yeah,
deduct it there, and maybe a day after your payday, you won't really feel it. It's only when you are putting it like before the when you are finished. People in UK live, most people live paycheck to paycheck. Just put it like maybe when you are paid or a day after. So you won't really, and even when you start getting, I don't need it, I have not used it for a year, just leave it. Just leave it there.
just leave
Just
it.
leave it.
Just leave it.
If
Yeah.
you are not even, we don't pray to have court cases, but it's very unwise to not prepare if any of those things arise. And also, even though you are not even going to court or answering any query, you can use their resources to just keep boosting your knowledge so that you won't fall into those things and you'll be able to guide others as well. What do I do on this YouTube channel? Sometimes it's just to provide information. What do Mr. Sam? Do you think if we don't read, we'll be able to provide information to you? So basically, if you even have those information and resources, you'll be able to be in a very good opportunity to explain to others and help many other persons. So which union are you part of? So Martha is asking Mr. Sam, which
So
union
I'm
are
not
you
yet to
part of?
advertise for any union, but we have I think the biggest is ROCN, I must say, followed by Unison. We have Unison, we have Unite. However, ROCN is specifically for nurses. It's just strictly nurses. Then we have ROCM for midwives. Then Unison encompasses both nurses, midwives, other allied health professionals. So, but I am with RCN because it's specifically for nurses. But you could join anyone. I'm not advocating for any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have our own issues and challenges, but that will be a talk for another day, though. But
Another day, yeah. Yeah. So, do we still have any other questions? Frankly, this session has been very, very impactful. For me personally, I've learned a lot, Mr. Sam. Like I told you from the start, that he is experienced. He knows it. He knows it. He is, and he told you that he's just done a revalidation just about 2 months ago. So many of
yeah,
the information are very fresh, handy, and one
yeah,
of the things that a wise man will say is that you learn from those who have done it, because it gives you leverage to do it better when you get there. You don't wait to get there and make the mistake and then start looking for who did it. You learn. Like for me, my revalidation is not due in like 6 months time there, but I will start preparing my folder from now. So that in the 9 minutes I won't start running head and be calling
yeah.
Mr. Sir. What did you say again? For Mr. Sir, I permit you not to answer me if I do that.
No, I'm
I
happy
can
to
go.
help. I'm happy to help anytime.
So something like, yeah, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so
Thank you
much
for
for
having me.
everyone who has joined. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining. Also, I'm having another live session. This is not revalidation tomorrow. It's this the one tomorrow is on a gist. We are talking about delivery experience. Let's say you are in the UK. You are thinking, how's the UK delivery experience? How much do you pay? Some people were asking that question when I delivered. How much did you pay? When I was like, I didn't pay, it's free. They were like, ah, really? Free? So you stayed 2 weeks in the hospital for free? It was free. So like what to expect and everything. Let's say you are new, or you are planning to start a family, because most people, they don't want to start a family before they relocate and then say, okay, let's start our family. So please, a dear friend of mine, will be live on the YouTube channel tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. And we'll be talking about delivery experience and what to anticipate, what it is like. Make sure you join. Don't forget to join. This video will guide a lot of nurses. This video we've just done. Please share this link, share the link to them. Some of your friends may have arrived in the UK 2 years ago. In next year, their validation will be due. Please share this link to them, and they will be very grateful to you, because Mr. Sam, I've heard many people explain revalidation to me, but I've never seen it in this light. Frankly, I've never. So it
Thank
makes
you.
me believe like, oh, I chose the right person for the job.
Thank
I've
you.
never seen it in this light. And each time I think of revalidation, I think of Mr. Sam. I don't know. And after a while, I reached out and she's done justice to it. Thank you so much, sir. We will
Thank you
not
very
fail
much
you.
for
We will
having me.
not fail. We will
Definitely.
not
No,
fail after all
definitely.
these counsels you've given to us.
Definitely.
He's a senior nurse, he's our boss, and we'll rep him well. We'll rep him well. Thank you so much for joining again. I can't overemphasize that. We'll see you all in our next video. Don't forget to visit Mr. Sam's channel. You get information on how to access the 1,000 free 1,000 pounds,
Sounds.
right?
Yeah.
For CPD and lots more. There's this video he did on the 31st of October regarding insurance, mortgages, and everything. Please go to that channel to look for that video. Go and watch the replay. And he gives a lot of update as well regarding. I remember when the nursing portal of Nigeria was open, he
Okay.
alerted us so quick. So please, you need to stay tuned, and don't forget to turn on that notification bell so that you can be notified each time. His schedule is quite busy, but when he makes one video, it's a loaded video with information. Please do that. Do that
Thank
so
you,
that you
Victor.
don't miss out on any of these guidance. I believe even after you've heard him speak, you do you I don't need to emphasize on this. You go and subscribe on that channel. Tap on the subscribe button. Subscription is free. Just tap on that subscribe button and get information for yourself. I'll see you all in my other videos. For the meantime, stay blessed. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thanks for having
Bye
me,
bye, Mr.
Victor.
Sam. Thank you. So I'll
Bye.
just put the live
Yeah.
sessions and then here.
All right.